Hey guys, welcome back to Scratching the Gaming Itch. Today I wanted to talk about games and their sizes and how big they're really getting and why 1 terabyte just isn't enough anymore. So as we're looking at this, the big game problem of today, we're going to break down why game installs have exploded, which games are taking up a ridiculous amount of space, which ones that will actually let you choose what parts you can install, and finally one of the craziest examples, how Helldivers 2 has become an amazing game, and hopefully something will happen because of that. So let's start with the heavy hitters, the ones who devour the SSD space. Now, number 1, Call of Duty. Pretty much every recent Call of Duty, dude. Modern Warfare 2, 3, Warzone. They all hit like around 100 to 200 gig range. And that's crazy. But the game itself is big. And then when you have seasonal content, high-res textures, Warzone assets, suddenly your drive space is filled. If you have 1 terabyte of space and that's it for your SSD, consider it gone to Call of Duty. Honestly, they are taking it all from you, which is insane, just to be one game and to do that. And Battlefield itself isn't really an innocent game either. Battlefield games are usually around like 120 gigs or so, depending on updates. And honestly, you're watching Battlefield right now. This game alone can take a sizable chunk. Though we're going to talk about Battlefield 6 as it does do a little bit different. Then you have these open world monsters. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Starfield, Ark Survival. They are huge. And games have just been getting bigger nowadays and taking up a lot more space. Right? The point is that normal games take up 1/10 of your SSD nowadays, which is insane. Before, they could be on a floppy disk. They could just be on a CD, and they were all so small. So why are games ballooning? Why are they getting so big? There are a few different reasons for that. One, the textures are massive now, right? You have 4K textures, you have 8K textures. Those did not exist before. So now that we have those, they're taking up more space. We have uncompressed audio for better sounds. We have huge open worlds with seamless, no loading. It takes a lot to do. There's live service updates now that keep on stacking more and more files as it goes, which is also something that hasn't happened in the past. And honestly, a lot of games haven't bothered optimizing very well. So their install sizes have become crazy because they assume that players have the storage, especially when storage was getting cheaper and cheaper. These patches don't really help, right? As they don't optimize, and then one update can suddenly be 20 gigs more. And not because the game changed that much, but because the way the files were packaged replaced giant chunks of data. And the developers didn't optimize it. But now, knowing that, I want to make sure that you know that not all hope is lost when it comes to these size of games. Some games are getting smarter and letting players pick and choose what they want to install. Games like Halo Infinite lets you uninstall the campaign, multiplayer, the high-res texture pack, so if you only want one part of the game, you don't need the entire game. Even Battlefield 6 allows for you to do that now. And there are a few other games that let me do that as well. MCC also lets you do that. And honestly, nowadays, this should be the standard. Why do I have to download the campaign if I just want the multiplayer? Why do I have to download the high-res textures if I don't really care how my game looks? To be able to pick and choose what I want to install, would be a huge help against these giant games. For Battlefield 6, it's gone from the 100 gigs, it's right now at 51 gigs. There are still some things I could choose to have uninstalled. Right, that's a choice that I have open to me to decrease the size of the game. And I actually really enjoy that. But here is the craziest example. Helldivers 2 currently has a slim beta version of the game. One that you could get access to right now on Steam, on PC. The full release version sits around 150 gigabytes on PC. This slim beta version is only 23 gigabytes. And here's the part that blows my mind. People that have played both versions have reported same gameplay, same performance, and the same features. This is telling me that the game bloating is not necessary. This is just poor optimization and unnecessary asset packaging. This is proof to me that games can be compressed and they can be optimized and still look and feel amazing. And I honestly hope that people follow in the footsteps of Helldivers 2. I hope they officially release this out of beta and other developers see it and think, dang, maybe I need to change something. Because for me, honestly, the difference of 150 gigs to 20 gigs gets me to keep the game installed and maybe play it again and play it more often. I don't feel like I have to uninstall it because of how big it is if I find myself interested in other games at the time to maybe reinstall it later down the road when my friends want me to play. So what does this mean for your storage? Right now, it basically means that a 2 terabyte SSD is the new standard if you play modern games regularly. Especially if you're hopping between multiple AAA titles, especially the multiplayer even. You can survive with 1 terabyte if you're uninstalling stuff constantly, being super selective, and avoiding storage hogs, which a lot of games have become. But 2 terabyte is now the new sweet spot. Thankfully, storage isn't crazy expensive anymore, but these game sizes are becoming absolutely crazy. So, games are huge. Storage is this resource that we don't necessarily have a whole ton of, and developers need to start thinking about optimization. They've gotten out of hand. 100 gigs per game shouldn't be the new norm, and at least that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments, what's the biggest game on your SSD right now? Right, I just want to know what games are out there. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Call of Duty, but I know there are a lot of huge single player games that are out there. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more gaming videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.